Tuesday. Race is on Saturday. Just doing a little get myself sucking wind run here along the road just below Mount Elbert. Gonna go 6 to 8 miles. Then I gotta back way off the next 3 days. If it's anything like yesterday, the Mount Elbert trailhead was fuller than Mount Massive. Mount Massive only had 2 cars yesterday. That sign. If you're going to go up here to this trailhead, you better have sort of an off-road vehicle. It gets pretty rough up the trail here. And if I was not going to run the Leadville Marathon on Saturday, I know I'd run up to the trailhead and maybe even up the trail a ways, but gotta save my legs. 69-year-old legs do not recover that fast. Camping here doesn't suck. About a half a mile past that first Mount Massive trailhead, on my way to the second one. All along here, as is true of this entire valley, is really little nice, free, dispersed camping sites. Even have fire rings. So this half mile, to give you kind of a summary, is very scenic. The stream is down there a lot. The road pretty much is okay at this point for normal vehicles. The sign said, and I know because I've been here before, it gets more challenging up ahead. Along in here, a couple of vehicles could usually squeeze by each other if they came on head on. But up a ways, not so much. Plus you're going to need a little clearance up a ways. About 3/4 of a mile from that other trailhead. And just shooting this so a person that's never been here can kind of see what they're getting into if you're going to come this way. If two vehicles meet each other here, there might be some togetherness with that deal. But it somehow always works out. But it narrows as we go, and then the clearance turns into a whole new thing. About 2 1/4 miles from the last massive trailhead. This is a lot steeper than it looks on camera, and it keeps going. I'm trying to get up to this. This is, of course, where you probably don't want your average passenger car, and I'm of course past my maximum turnaround spot, and the weather is changing on me. Got rain and sleet and snow. I'm trying to get to the one more spot to show anybody who may ever watch this so they know what to kind of expect with what type of vehicle you're going to need to get up to this trailhead. Might go just a little further, of course, that's the way I am. Then I gotta turn around. So right in here, if you continue through here, you're about to get into the steep grade rough road that's heading right up to Dead Man's Curve. If you go down in here, I didn't go explore it, but I bet you that that's some pretty nice, looks like some nice dispersed camping sites. So if you can get to here and want to avoid that, want to camp and hike up, I don't know how far it is, but it's less than a mile to hike to the trailhead. And down below here, there are some more dispersed camping spots that a person could avoid going up that real steep grade. Still climbing. Still not the greatest traction. And this is the part I was trying to get to, is this is probably not the section you want to drive up here in your Pinto wagon. All you young folks are probably asking me, what in the world is a Pinto wagon? Well, Pinto wagon was made by Ford a long time ago, and I owned a yellow Pinto wagon with genuine imitation wood grain paneling on the sides, and I spent most of the summer living out of that thing. It's like a old-timers version of, and a poor man's version of what they called Subaru Outback. So this is a section of road I wanted to show in case anybody is planning to drive up to this trailhead. People do it all the time. You kind of got to know what you're in for. It's a real good climatization run, and I'm going to do some walking on the way back because I'm only 3 days out and 3 days away from the Leadville Marathon, and my soon-to-be 70-year-old legs might need to rest. Once you clear that corner, like we just did, I think you got pretty clear sailing to the trailhead, which isn't very far away, I don't believe. Well, here it is, the North Half Moon trailhead for going up Massive this way. Kind of the quick way, steep way, the way I understand it. I've only went up the other way. If you see that creek and go through it, you've gone too far, because here's the trailhead. I'm the only human up here today. About par for the course for me. And through these trees here, I'll just walk through there. If you do get here, you get your vehicle up here, there's a place to park. I've been here one other time, and this whole field right in here was full of cars. So it does get used. Now I gotta head back. I went a little too far. Oh, some information. This trailhead is 2.6 miles from the other trailhead. Mostly uphill, and it gets challenging for your vehicle here near the top. Pushing my limits a little on what I should be doing on my training day. Probably my last training day. I should have backed off a little. But really, look where I'm at. How can you not get out there? I think that's Mount Elbert right up there. And here we go back down. And here's another nice little spot. Quite a ways in, within walking range of that trailhead. I can't even believe it. Last time I was here, there was a guy here that had a pop-up camper. Brought it all the way up here and he had it backed in there. It's amazing what people can do with trailers. Not me. I like to use my feet. But this is one of the few, this one, another one that I know of where you could camp and then go up to the trailhead instead of driving up that rugged dead man's curve. Because here, the trail isn't that bad. there's moments along here where if you met another vehicle, you probably should have sharpened up your backup skills before you headed up here too far. But it gets done all the time.